Hey guys, welcome back. In our previous video, we have created a site collection inside a SharePoint. Now we are going to explore and let's see how to create list and library. So what is a list? So list is a data collection where you are storing data. So like for example, you want to create a database, say employee name. So what is list? List is a set of data where we are collecting data. For example, you want to create a database for employee where you are going to save employee details like employee name, employee date of joining, salary, skills, and so on. So let's see how we create a data collection or list. So you have to click on this gear icon. So this is a setting here, and click on this. Then you have to go to site content, or you can also click on add an app. We have few default libraries with us and also a calendar events. So right now we are going to add a list. So you have to click on new. You can either click on list or you can click on app. So in both way you can add a list to your SharePoint site. So I'm going to click on this custom list. You can give a name. So I'm typing a name. So employee database and hit on create. So once you create, we have this employee database with us. Now click on employee database and we have default column called title. You can click on add column from here. You can have this column type or data type with you. So it is single line of text, multiple line of text, location, and so on. So you have a lot of options. Okay, now imagine this thing when you are doing with a coding, with the help of coding, either .NET, Java, or any coding language available in the market. So you have to use a lot of coding you have to do. Okay, to create a simple table, you have to at least 20-50 lines of code you have to write, create one database or list with you. So if someone who wants to learn and do something in the software industry without coding, then you can do from here. Like you don't require any coding language to create a simple SharePoint list or library in your site collection. You have to just click on add an app, click on list, enter your name, and your list is ready with you. Now you can add columns, you can remove as well. So you can do the operation. Now you can add column from here as well. On the screen you have this option add column, or you can go to list settings. Okay. Now coming to the list settings, we have few options. So we have under the general settings, we have list name, description, and navigation. So suppose you have written a name employee database and you made a spelling mistake, or in future you have to change this name instead of employee to make it employees database, or by mistake you have given some wrong name. So going to list name and description, you can change that name. Okay, so from here you can change the name. On cancel, then you have version settings, so you can check like you can enable versioning. So once you have created a document, so created one record, and after that you have changed that record. It can be some details from the entire, say you have employee name, employee address, employee mobile number, and so on. So if you change any of those details, so you can maintain that via version settings. So you can enable version settings and then you can track that changes. So right now there it is disabled. So you can make this if you want to make something mandatory. Okay, whenever someone change the data, it should go for the approval. Then you can make this yes, require approval, or you can keep it no. If you want to create version history, whenever an item is created, you can click on yes. Then you can type number of versions you want, and you can also keep draft as well. Once it is published, then only it will be available for the users. Okay, so you can enable that as well. So you can just make it 10, 15, how many you want. Just you can then you have to click on OK. We are not enabling, so that's why I clicked on. Then we have advanced settings. So you can click on manage content type. Will in future videos I will show you when we'll create a separate video or content type. So there I will explain what is this content type. You can click on allow content type. You can click on no default, it is no. Then you can give item level permission. So like for each item you can give permission from here. You can enable and disable attachment. So whether you want in your list, when someone filling the data, if they should able to attach a document or not, you can enable that thing from here. You can create folders if you want, like just we like to do on our desktop. Wherever you are uploading some document, we used to create a folder system in our desktop. So similarly, you can enable this and then you can create a folder. Then if you like, whenever you are adding data, whether it should available for search or not, that you can select from here. And there are many more options, so you can go through each option. These are self-explanatory. All the details are given just below the heading, so you can read and go through all these settings. Okay, so now coming back to our column creation, since we are creating a database. So we have this title column. Either you can rename it, or if you want to use, you can keep it as it is. If you don't want to change anything, you have to do, or you can rename this as well. So instead of title, you can change the name, and you can give any name you want to give it. Okay. Right now we are going to create one database for employee. So this list name is employee database. So we are going to create column employee name, employee contact number, employee address, and skills. So now we'll click on create column. I will type employee. Now these are the data types, just like these are the data types that you can use when you are creating a column. So single line of text, you can type up to 256 characters. We have multiple line of text that you can add as many characters you want, you can add that. Then if you want to create drop down, you can select this choice. Then we have number system, like when you are creating a mobile number, that will be a number. Then we have currency if you are adding salary. So if you have suppose have a column name salary, so you can create that as a currency. So the symbol will be added. So there are a lot of options are there for currency you can select. If I select on this, so I will get many options in the drop down to select which currency I want to keep. So here we have currency format, so you can select from here. Then we have date and time lookup. We'll cover this in our next video. Then we have this checkbox, yes, no, person and group. So now whenever you're creating a, say you are creating employee database, so in an organization we have Active Directory. So whenever an employee joins the organization, his name is added to the employee directory. So if you want to fetch details, like you just type name and you want to get that name from employee directory, you have to use person or group. But if you are entering data, some person who is not in your organization, whose name is not in Active Directory, then you can use single line of text. Then we have hyperlinks, calculated column are there if you want to do calculation. So suppose we have like say basic salary, and then there is some HRA, some other stuff is there, and you want to calculate the actual salary by adding all this detail. So you can use calculated. Then you have location, external data. So this external data, when you are connected with the SQL or something, then you can use this external data. Okay. So right now this is the employee name. So we'll use person or group. You can make this column either required or not. So if required, it means you have this column become mandatory. Then you have next enforce unique value. So we are not going to this. You can add enforce unique value for mobile number, because mobile number can be unique, but name cannot be unique. That there can be a two person with the same name. Then we have if you want to add multiple selection, like you want to add number of people, like more than one person name. So like say when you are adding some field you have created with the name, so there if you want to add more than one user, so you can use multiple options. Right now we are not allowing because this is the employee name, so we need only one name. So we have put here no. Then we have allow selection of, so whether you want to add only people or you want to add group as well, so you can select. So right now this is the employee name, so we are going with the people only. Then you have options as well for choose from or from all users or from some specific group, so you can select from here. Then we have all this property. Whenever you are using people picker field, so you have all this property with you, so you can use this properties which as per your requirement. So I have all details field. I will click on okay. So our employee name is created. Next column will do employee address. This is going to be multiple line of text because we have address very long. We'll make it plain text. We want to make it rich. Okay. Then we'll have another column, say contact number. We can select number type. We can specify minimum maximum. This is mobile number, so we don't need any decimal place. So I just click on 0. The next column I will create what we have left. Employee name we have done. Okay. Employee skills. So this is going to be a choice because we have multiple. We are going to give him options to select from. So I will type here. So it says SharePoint HTML.net. Then we can have Java. Then any skills you want, you can just add say machine learning. You can add. Then what type of drop down you want to give. So whether you can give drop down, then you can select radio box buttons or checkboxes. Also, like if you want the user to add his custom drop down value, then you can click on this allow fill in choice. So you will click on yes, just make it allow fill in choice yes. And here we have default as a SharePoint, so I don't want any value as a default. So I will make this empty. And I want to make this column. We have not made any column required, so if you want to make this required, you can just click on yes. Make any column required, simply click on okay. Now we have this title column which is a required. We don't want this field to be required, so I will just click go. Now if I go to employee database, my all columns are added here. So I have title, employee name, employee address, contact number, and employee skills. I don't want this title in the display, will remove that. Now if I click on view, so I have my form with me. This is a default SharePoint form that we can change. We have changed this as well. So so this is the default SharePoint form. We can change the look and feel. So this is a default SharePoint form that you can change. I have already published my video how to customize SharePoint form with Power Apps. So we are using Power Apps to customize this form. Before Power Apps, we used to do this with JavaScript as well. We used to put code, JavaScript code to make UI changes. Also, we have previously InfoPath forms with us where we used to customize this form. Now, why we are not using InfoPath form? Because InfoPath form is going to discard from Microsoft. So they are planning. So all the new development we are doing with the help of Power Apps instead of InfoPath forms. So we are not going to use InfoPath form. We are going to use Power Apps. So I will add few details. So this employee column is mandatory. So here I have to add. This is a people picker. So as I have written the name, it is picking up, giving suggestions. If there are more names, it will give more suggestions. Then you can add address. So I'm just putting ABC. Then you can add your contact number. So I'm just putting some random number. Then if I click on employee skills, I have this drop down options. I'll again click on SharePoint. If you have any document to attach, you can attach that, and then you have to click on save. So now your data is saved. Now in this view, we have employee name, employee address, contact number, and employee skill. We don't want this title column because we don't have any value here and we don't want to use that. Now you have to click on all items. Then you have to click on edit current view. So as soon as you click on edit view, this page will open, and from here you have to uncheck. So I have unchecked the title. Now I have unchecked the title. Now if you want to rearrange, like you want employee address before employee name, so you can just change the numbering here, and by changing the numbering and click on OK, your view will save and you will have your customized view. So this is all items is a default view. You can create your own personal view. So where you want to show users only employee name and employee address, so you can create views as per your requirement. If you want to create your own view, you have to again click on this gear icon. You have to go to list settings, scroll down a little bit, and after this create column, we have this create view at the bottom. So I will click on this create view. Then you have 4 options here. You can either go with the standard view, data sheet view, which looks like Excel sheet. You can create calendar view from this, like if you have date, so you can create calendar view here as well. Then we have Gantt view, so you can show graphical representation. We are going with the standard views. So I will click on standard views and I will type my view. Then you can make this default as well. Right now our default views all items. Scroll down. Now I want to show employee name, but I want to hide employee address, so I will do that. Then I can show employee number and employee skill. Okay, I have selected that. Now if I scroll little bit, so you have sort by. Now you can use sort by, whether you want to sort by employee name or contact number or address. So you can select that column name from here. Few default names as well. Default column names are there, and you will find your own column that's customized you have added. So you can do 2-level, 3-level sorting here. Then you can apply filter. So suppose there is a requirement that on this page a user can see only his data. He cannot view others' data. So you can control that with the help of filter. So you can come here, you can apply filter. Then you can create tabular view from here. Then you can have a group by. So you can group by columns together by with any column. So you have to click on this and you have to select the column name. There are few more options. We have total, style, folder limit. So you can just go through all these options. So if you are now suppose you have salary column or there are any calculated columns and you want to find the total of that column value, so you can click here and you can get the count or average of that column. So here we have this 3 with us, so you can just click on this. So contact number, since this is a number, we have these options to either create count, average, maximum, minimum, sum, or any kind of function you want. With the employee name, we will have only count, so you can have a count how many employee are there in this database. So you can use count, so it will give you at the top the count number of records in your database. Then similar for the skill, so you can create like how many are there on for the SharePoint, so you can just click on count, so it will automatically generate that count for you. So like say there are 4 for SharePoint, 3 for .NET, similarly. Then you have different styles. So this is the default. You can have shaded, so you can explore all these options. Then you have folder, whether you want to save item within the folder or outside the folder. So you can have these 2 options with this, show items inside folder or show all items without folder. So you can select the options as per your requirement. Then number of items you want to display in each view, you can have here. You can just right now it is 30 default. You can change this number as well. then mobile view, and after all these settings you have decided everything, you have to click on OK. So my view is ready. And to switch view, you have to click on this and you can click on all items. You can switch between the views. Now suppose you want to export this data on your Excel sheet. So you have to do some operation or some for any purpose. If you want this data on your Excel, so we have this export to Excel option. You can click here and your data will be moved to your Excel sheet. You can go here. I will open this. Take some time. You can select options. Click on enable. It will ask you your details. You have to enter your email ID, password. Once you enter all your details, your data will be available in your Excel sheet. So this is how you can do operations on the SharePoint list. So just create your account, go through this list and create columns, explore all the options you have available with you. Go to the list setting, go through all the options, go to the create view, and then go through all the options you have and explore. You will learn a lot and it is very interesting to learn. So keep learning. Thank you.